Yes. Hello everyone. Welcome back to SuPrabha Academy MPSC English medium course for combined exam Group B and Group C. My name is Akshay and today we are going to discuss about history. Okay, the history of Maharashtra, in which there is a topic known as social reformer. And today we are going to talk or understand or discuss about a personality who by his own name, okay, is such a great personality that no other name shadows his personality, okay, in India. So the man who fought for the rights of untouchables, the man who fought for the rights of backward classes, tribals, women, labor. He also laid the foundation of water management in modern India. He is also known as the architect of our Indian constitution. Okay, he is also known as father of modern India. Fine. So yes, you guessed it right. The man is the great reformer Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about his achievements, his early life, his education, his reforms, his struggle, each and everything. Okay, the institutions or organizations he has established, the newspaper he has established, okay, and so on. Fine. Yes. So, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he was born on 14th April 1981. Okay, 1891 in the village of Mohu near Indore in Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so महू या गावामध्ये यांचा जन्म झाला जे इंदोर जवळ आहे आणि ते मध्य प्रदेशमध्ये येतं. बरं, हे जे महू आहे हे इट इज ऑल्सो it has a full form in the previous British Raj. There was a full form for that and it was known as military headquarter of war. It was known as military headquarter of war. Okay, and the native village of Baba Saheb was Ambavade in Dhapoli taluka of Ratnagiri district, Maharashtra. His father name was Ramji Maluji Sakpad and was a subedar in British military or British army, and he retired as a subedar major. Okay, the mother's name of Baba Saheb was Bhima Bai. He received his primary education. Okay, he received his primary education in Dhapoli in Ratnagiri district. He was an untouchable. He belonged to a community who was known, which were known as untouchables in the Hindu society. So he was not allowed to study Sanskrit. Okay, then further education Baba Saheb took in Satara. He went to Satara for further education. Okay, and there he experienced a very raw and very inhuman treatment which was known as untouchability. Okay, even the peon of that school was not willingly to touch that child. Okay, and if a day on which the peon was absent, Baba Saheb was not offered even a water the whole day. Okay, बाबासाहेबांना बाहेर बसाय म्हणजे आतमध्ये पण नाही बसू द्यायचे ते शाळेच्या क्लासमध्ये. बाबासाहेब बाहेर बसून ते लांबून बघायचे तो बोर्ड, आणखी तिथनं जे दिसेल तितकं लिहून काढायचे, आणखी अभ्यास करायचे. तर असा हा सुरुवातीपासून त्यांचा लहानपणीपासून हा स्ट्रगल सुरू होता अनटचेबिलिटीमुळे. ओके, फ्रॉम 1908 to 1912 he completed his BA. Okay, so after completing the higher education he went to Mumbai, okay, to further to complete his graduation, and he graduated in stream of Bachelor of Arts from Ilfiston College in Mumbai. Okay, so with the help of Maharaja, okay, Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad of Baroda state, he got a scholarship from this Maharaja and he went to America, United States for higher education in July 1913. Okay, so Baba Saheb got the scholarship from Baroda state, okay, from Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad, and he went to America for the further studies. Okay, in America he went to University of Columbia where he studied MA, okay, and PhD as well. Maharaj of Baroda state Sayajirao Gaikwad had selected 4 candidates. Okay, so Sayajirao Gaikwad, Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad have selected 4 candidates for the foreign education, and one of the candidates or student was Dr. Baba Saheb. Okay, the education of the the duration of the scholarship was from June to 1913 to June 1916. Baba Saheb considered 3 peoples. Okay, Baba Saheb considered 3 people as his guru. The first was Gautam Buddha. Okay, Buddha. The second was Sant Kabir, and third was Mahatma Phule. Okay, so these were the 3 gurus which Baba Saheb have selected. Okay. Next comes the Southborough Commission. Okay, in 1990. Okay, so after completing his education in USA, okay, in Columbia University, Baba Saheb returned to India, and in 1919, the British government appointed a franchise reform committees under chairmanship of Lord Southborough, okay, to consider the political rights to be granted to Indian people. Okay, so the British government formed a committee under the chairmanship of Lord Southborough, and that committee was interested, okay, for the reforms which were introduced in the segment of or in the section of franchise reforms. Okay, the committee began its work on 1st November 1918, and the report was published on 28 February 1920. Okay, so the government for this franchise reforms, okay, the government nominated 2 personalities. Okay, the first one was Vittal Ramji Shinde, and the second one was Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, to the Southborough Commission, okay, or committee to represent the untouchables. Okay, and these 2 personality represented untouchables in this committee, and during this period, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was the first to advocate for independent representation of untouchable. Okay, so here we can find the first mention of separate electorates for untouchables during the Southborough Committee or in front of Southborough Committee, and which was placed by Dr. Ambedkar. Fine. South Maharashtra Outcast Council. Okay, it is also known as Mangaon Parishad, and it was held during 21st and 22nd of March 1920. Okay, the president of Mangaon Parishad was Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar himself, and the chief guest was Rajashri Shahu Maharaj. Chairman of the welcoming committee was Dada Saheb Raj Sabde Inamdar, and organizers were Appa Saheb Dada Gonda Patil. Okay, it was the first conference that Baba Saheb leadership began. Okay, so there is a village known as Mangaon near Kolhapur. It is around 50 kilometers near Kolhapur. Okay, and the leaders and the peoples of that village were experiencing who were belonging to the untouchable community was experiencing a severe discriminative behavior of other communities. So the village of Mangaon were having mainly 3 groups of communities. The first one was Jain community, second one was Maratha, and third one was Dalit. Okay, so Dalits there were the people belonging to this community were experiencing severe discriminative behavior towards them by the respective other communities, and the leaders of this community sorted that they should organize a conference, and Baba Saheb was recently returned from USA, okay, from Columbia University in 1920. So they they came to know that Baba Saheb has returned to India and was residing in Mumbai. The leaders of this backward class community, okay, backwards community, तर हे सगळे एकत्र झाले. आणखी यांनी शाहू महाराजांना रिक्वेस्ट केले की तुम्ही पण या परिषदेमध्ये. आणखी यांनी बाबासाहेबांना पण बोलवण्याकरिता रिक्वेस्ट केली. तर शाहू महाराज पर्सनली he went to Mumbai and invited Dr. Babasaheb to attend this parishad. Okay, so this parishad was held in Mangaon in Kolhapur, fine, between 21 and 22 March 1920. Fine. So there were some important resolutions which were passed in this conference. Okay, primary education should be made compulsory for the untouchables. So this was the demand, and it was very important for the untouchables, okay, that they should get free and compulsory primary education. Common schools for so-called upper class and untouchables, okay. Common schools should be built up, okay, or to be constructed where the peoples, the children belonging to the upper caste and the lower caste should be studied together, okay. Scholarship should be provided to the students from excluded classes, okay. So the provisions of scholarship were also discussed here, okay. Appointment from the excluded classes should be made as talahati, okay. So the appointment for the excluded classes should be made as talahati. Fine. Eating dead animal meat should be declared as crime. Okay. So here is comment. Okay. Fine. Chan. Thank you. DTP. Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha. Okay. So on 20th July 1924, Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha was formed. Okay. On March 1924, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar convened a meeting at Damodar Thakresi Hall in Parel, Mumbai. Okay. Following the resolution passed in this meeting, Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha was established on 20th July 1924. The Sabha adopted the powerful motto of learn, organize and struggle. बाबासाहेबाचा मोटो होता, बाबासाहेबांनी दिलेला एक उद्देश्य होता, शिका, संघटित व्हा आणखी संघर्ष करा. बरं, तर हा इथनच आलेला आहे बहिष्कृत हितकारणी सभा. बघा हा यांचा लोगो होता बहिष्कृत हितकारणी सभाचा. फाइन. So let's go through some primary objectives of Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha. To raise social awareness, safeguard human rights, promote education and improve the economic condition of the marginalized. The mainstream people should help the untouchables in exercising their rights as a citizen. Okay, the mainstream people should employ the untouchables in their work and should feed untouchable students by giving them meals during their schooling hours at their own dining places. Okay, in 1925, the first hostel under its initiative was established in Solapur. So this is important for your exam, that the first hostel under this initiative was established in Solapur. MPSC usually asks these types of statements. They give you the statements and they ask that is it true or false. Fine. The Sabha also planned to publish an annual manuscript titled as Saraswati Vilas. This is also important factual information. They might ask you that Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha annual manuscript was named as what? And it is one name as Saraswati Vilas. Eventually the Sabha was dissolved in 1928 and in its place the Bharatiya Bahishkrit Shikshan Prasarak Mandal was formed. Okay, so this is also important. Fine. Samata Sainik Dal. On 25 November 1926, Samata Sainik Dal was formed. Okay, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar founded the Samata Sainik Dal himself. Okay, the organization aimed to provide threefold education. In that education, it was physical education, intellectual education and military education. What types of किती प्रकारचे education इथे involve होते? Physical, intellectual and military. Okay, here you can see Baba Saheb with his Samata Sainik Dal members. Training camps, lecturers and discussion forum were organized to raise social awareness among its members. Military drills were conducted every Wednesday. So military drills were conducted on which day? It was conducted on Wednesday. Okay. Many of its recruits had previously served in British Army. So as we know that Dalits were the part of British Army, okay, since the 1880 war of Bhima Koregaon, which was in Pune, okay, and in that war Peshwa was defeated, okay, by the British with the aid of Dalits, okay, or Mahar regiment. Okay, after that Mahar regiment was formed and the Dalits, these untouchables were part of British Army. So many recruits, okay, were ex-British soldiers. Okay. By 1938, the strength of Samata Sainik Dal had grown steadily and reached around 2000 members. Okay. So it was a large organization in till 1938. Fine. It was having around 2000 members. Simon Commission. We all know Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. In that reforms of 1990, there was a provision that a reform or reform to study this reform, a commission should be, a study group should be appointed, okay, after 10 years. But before 10 years, a commission in 1927 itself, a commission was formed under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. Okay, fine. So when the Simon Commission arrived in India in 1927, to assess the political situation, Dr. Baba Sahib submitted a detailed statement of demands to the commission. Here you can see Dr. Baba Sahib with the Simon Commission members. Okay. And the statement which was given by by Dr. Baba Sahib to the Simon Commission have majorly two recommendations. And the first recommendation was the recommendation for the British government regarding to the welfare and upliftment of untouchables in India. So he recommended that the measure should be taken for the upliftment and the welfare of untouchables. Proposal concerning the structure and composition of provincial legislatures as well as the future of Constitution of India. Okay, so these two recommendations were given by Dr. Baba Sahib to the Simon Commission. Mahad Satyagraha. Yes. Mahad Satyagraha. On 20th March 1927, this Satyagraha was held by Dr. Baba Sahib himself. Okay. So on August 4, 1923, Sitaram Bhole, okay, a leader of non-Brahmin party, introduced a resolution in Bombay Provincial Legislature. And this resolution clearly stated that untouchability should not be practiced in public places like water bodies, dharmashalas, schools and public gardens. Okay. And this resolution, या resolution मध्ये असे पण provisions होते की जे local bodies हे provisions follow करणार नाहीत त्यांना दंड पण द्यावा लागेल. बरं, ठीक आहे. तर या provisions मुळे, या resolution मुळे महाड जे म्युनिसिपॅलिटी होती, तर त्यांच्या हदीमध्ये एक चौदार तळे म्हणून एक लेक होता. ठीक आहे. And that lake was opened to the untouchables by the Mahad municipality. Fine. So after it was open to the lake was open to untouchables. Untouchables were not willingly going to the lake to drink water because they were hesitating. They were frightened that the upper caste would react violently. Okay. So to boost their confidence, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar decided to launch a Satyagraha in Mahad. It was resolved to hold the Colaba district Bahishkrit Parishad in Mahad on 19th and 20th March 1927. Okay, so on 20th March 1927, Dr. Baba Sahib led a disciplined march to Chaudhar Tade, okay, a public water tank in Mahad. Okay, so Baba Sahib himself went to the lake and drank the first sip of water. And after he drank water from that, the followers of all this untouchable community followed him and they start drinking water. Okay, but after this event, the higher caste or the upper caste locals they reacted very violently and they attacked the participants of Mahad Satyagraha and for defying the caste-based restrictions. After Baba Sahib Ambedkar left to Mumbai, the upper caste conducted a so-called purification ritual of Chaudhar Tade. Okay, so after this event of drinking water from that Chaudhar Tade, the so-called upper class, they purified the steps of that lake, okay, by cow urine, okay, and they poured cow dung, a mixture of cow dung, cow urine, okay, ghee, curd and milk into the lake, and they declared that the so-called purification has been done and the water has been purified because it was touched by untouchable community. Fine. So the Satyagraha carried out by Baba Sahib at Mahad for water and equality was the first of its kind in world. Okay. So this was the first kind of Satyagraha in the world which was held for the reasons of equality and water, access to water. Fine. Samaj, Samta, Sangh. Okay. President was Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and Vice President was D.V. Naik and Dr. Bhandarkar. Members were B.V. Pradhan, D.V. Pradhan, R.D. Kamble and S.S. Gupte. Okay. So, Samaj, Samta, Sangh. Samaj Samta Sangh was established on 4 September 1927. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar found the Samaj Samta Sangh to promote social equality. They organized a communal meals involving Dalits and the members of other caste. Okay, so the concept of interdining was introduced and carried by this Samaj Samta Sangh by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and others his associate. Okay, in interdining, the members of untouchable community and the members of other caste or higher caste were sat down together for dining or having food. To assert the untouchables' right to religious practice, the Sangh also conducted marriages. Okay, the Sangh also conducted marriages in the Vedic tradition and demonstrating that the Dalit has also equal rights, okay, to perform and participate in Vedic rituals. Okay. The official mouthpiece of Samaj Samta Sangh was Samta. This is important for your exam. Okay. With Devarao Naik serving as its editor. Okay. Serving as its editor. A branch of Samaj Samta Sangh was established in Pune on 8 April 1920 at Gayakwad Wada, the residence of Sridhar Pant Tidak, the son of Lokmanya Tilak. So, a branch of Samaj Samta Sangh was established in Pune at Gayakwad Wada at the home of Sridhar Pant Tilak, on son of Lokmanya Tilak. Manusmriti burning or Manusmriti Dahan. Fine. It was carried on 25 December 1927. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar organized the Satyagraha Parishad on 25 and 26 December 1927 at Mahad. Okay, during this historic gathering, a significant decision was made to burn the Manusmriti. Okay, Manusmriti was the root cause of all these social inequalities, okay, and the inhuman practices and the violation of rights of untouchables or the lower caste or backward classes as well as for women. Okay, to curb those rights or to abolish those rights, Baba Saheb put forward a theory in which he said that the book which says or which allows or approves this sort of inhuman practices should be burned. Okay, so the task of burning Manusmriti was carried out by Madke Bua, Ganpat Mahadev Jadhav and Bapu Saheb, that is Sahasra Buddhe. Okay, as Bua recited the verses from the Manusmriti, each lip of this text was stoned and ceremoniously thrown into the fire. In this way, it was a symbolic revolution or revolt for the said inhuman practices, okay, which was carried by the higher caste of that time. Okay, Kalaram Mandir Satyagraha. Okay, Kalaram Mandir Satyagraha began on 3rd March 1930 in Nashik. Okay, so this is a temple in Nashik which is known as Kalaram Mandir. Why? Because the idols of Lord Ram and others are made of black stone. Okay, I guess that is black colored granite. Okay, that is why it is known as Kalaram Mandir. Okay, led by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar along with his key activists. Okay, so in this temple, the entry of untouchables were restricted and they were not allowed to enter or to worship in this temple. So Dr. Babasaheb followed a satyagraha. Okay, he held a satyagraha for the entry of untouchables to this mandir, okay, or to this temple. And several other temple entry movements has also held in south, in overall India, in south, like SNDP movement and so on. Okay, 4 groups of satyagrahis were organized for the Kalaram temple. Okay, so this kind of structure was there and there were 4 entrances. Okay, north, south, east, west. Okay, so the groups of satyagrahis were divided into 4 batches, and each batch or each batch was placed in front of the gate, 4 gates. Okay, so as soon as, and their plan was, if if the temple is opened, they will go inside and they worship, and they will peacefully come back to their places, okay, or to their home. But as soon as this satyagraha started, the temple authorities shut down. Okay, the 4 gates of Kalaram temple were shut down by the temple authorities when the temple doors were okay, and this temple were shut down for the satyagrahis. That means they were not allowed to enter into the temple. And seeing the law and order situation, the district collector of that of Nashik, he declared that it should be shut down for few days or few weeks. The temple should be shut down to maintain the law and order situation. Okay, after few days, when the temple doors were opened on 1st April 1930, the satyagraha resumed, and within a day or two, 68 satyagrahis were arrested. Okay, so on April 7, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar arrived at the temple leading a large procession of around 200 protesters. Okay, although, and this 200 protesters then were allowed to enter the temple. Okay, but after they were allowed and they म्हणजे त्यांनी दर्शन वगैरे घेतलं, त्यानंतर काय झालं की जे उच्चवर्णीय जे लोक होते, जे सो कॉल्ड अपर कास्ट होते, त्यांनी एक प्रोटेस्ट फॉर्म केला. ठीक आहे, ते प्रोटेस्ट त्यांनी एक प्रोटेस्ट केला की जे पालखी निघायची, ठीक आहे, तर ते पालखीमध्ये दलित पण सामील व्हायचे. ठीक आहे, पण त्या वर्षी काय झालं की त्यांनी जे समजून घ्या की ते 10ला निघत असेल पालखी, तर त्यांनी सकाळी 7ला पालखी काढली. फाईन, आणखी दलितांना त्याच्यामध्ये इन्व्हॉल्व केलं नाहीये. ठीक, त्यानंतर मग काय झालं की परत प्रोटेस्ट झाला, परत एक सेकंड सत्याग्रह करायला लागलं. ठीक आहे, आणि असा हा बरेच 5 वर्षाचा कालावधी यामध्ये निघून गेला. ऑल्दो द डोर्स ऑफ कालाराम टेम्पल वेर ओपन्ड फ्रॉम 1936, they remained restricted to upper caste. That means the lower caste were not allowed to worship till. Okay, the movement continued for 5 years, 7 months and 11 days, marking one of the longest and the most determined struggle for temple entry. And after this, the temple entry was allowed to the lower caste or untouchables. Round table conferences. So, as we have discussed that in 1927, Sir John Simon, okay, was leading a commission, okay, known as Simon Commission, for the further future reforms, constitutional reforms for India, okay, by the British government. So after Simon Commission submitted its reports, Nehru report was also produced, and Moody-Man Committee and so on, many other around 5 to 6 reports were placed before the British Parliament to form the new constitutional reforms. Okay, so after overall this reports were submitted to the British invited the Indian leadership to discuss the future or further constitutional reforms on which the government of India in 1935 would be based. Okay, so 3 round table conferences in London was taken, okay, in which the first round table conference began in London on 12th November 1930, in which 85 delegates represented were participating. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar attended as the representative of untouchables, nominated by the British government itself. So, in the first roundtable conference, Congress or Mahatma Gandhi, Congress was not a part of was not a part of that conference. Okay, roundtable conference, and it did not attend the first conference. But all the delegates remaining delegates were present at the first roundtable conference. Okay. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar participated in all 3 conferences, okay, in London. During these conferences, he made a bold statement suggesting that the untouchable community should be referred to as Protestants Hindu. Okay, there are 2 types of Christians, Roman Catholic and Protestants. Okay, they have both some ideological differences, okay, between them. Similarly, Baba Sahib also suggested that untouchable should be known as Protestant Hindu, demanded a separate electorate for them along with other fundamental rights. So we have seen that in 1920 separate electorate ही संकल्पना मांडली होती बाबासाहेबांनी पहिल्यांदा 1920 मध्ये. आता परत ही कॉन्फरन्स राऊंड टेबल कॉन्फरन्समध्ये मांडण्यात आली. कुठली? सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेटची अनटचेबल करिता, आणखी त्यांच्याकरिता काही फंडामेंटल राईट्स म्हणजेच मूलभूत अधिकार सुद्धा देण्यात यावे अशी डिमांड बाबासाहेबांनी केली होती. ठीक आहे. And after this round table conferences was held, Ramsay MacDonald, the Prime Minister of Britain, okay, he declared communal awards. In that communal awards, untouchables were also given separate electorates. But Gandhiji was against it because he thought that it would further create a distinction or division among the Hindu society. Okay, and he wrote a letter to Prime Minister MacDonald on 18th August 1932 requesting that Dalit should not be given separate electorates. Okay, he also informed that if the decision was taken and the separate electorates were granted to the untouchables, he would go for fast onto death. Okay, and finally on 20th September 1932 he began the fast onto death in the Yerwada jail in Pune. Okay, हे आपलं पुण्यात जे येरवडा जेल आहे तिथेच त्यांनी फास्टला सुरुवात केली होती. As the people increased their pressure, the Dalit leaders were forced to abandon their demand for separate electorates. The plan that was prepared by the leaders Dr. Ambedkar, Ghanshyam Das Birla, Rajgopalachari, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya together was called as Pune Agreement or Poona Pact. तर हे जे गांधीजींचं जे डिमांड होते की यांना सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट्स नाही मिळायला पाहिजे, बाबासाहेबांना वाटत होतं की मिळायला पाहिजे, यांच्यातला दोघांमधला जो वाद होता तो वाद कशामुळे संपला तर पुणे पॅक्ट मुळे संपवण्यात आला. ठीक आहे. The Pune Agreement was signed by Dr. Babasaheb and Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya on the behalf of Hindu leaders and Congress and Gandhiji. Okay. On 25 September 1932, the agreement had the following clauses. Babasaheb should abandon the demand of separate electorates and should agree for joint electorates. Okay. Babasaheb Ambedkar acknowledged that Harijans Congress coined a term for this Dalit or this untouchables and they named them as Harijan, means that the son of God. Okay, Hari se Jan. ठीक है, were a part of Hindu society. Okay, so in total by the Pune Pact earlier by the communal awards 71 seats were reserved for the provincial legislature for the untouchables. By Poona Pact, it was increased to 148 seats in the form of joint electorates. And for the central legislature, 18% seats were reserved for the untouchable community. Fine. So this was your Poona Pact. Fine. Now comes the Yeola Assembly of 1935 and a historic announcement of Dr. Babasaheb. Okay. On 13 October 1935, Babasaheb held a meeting of Dalit people in Yeola village of Nashik district. Of which district? कुठल्या district मध्ये होता हे Yeola? Nashik district मध्ये. Fine. About 10,000 untouchable activists and leaders from various places were present at the meeting. Fine. The welcome address of the meeting was given by Amrut Dhondiba Rankhambhe. Okay. विचार करा त्या काळात बाबासाहेबांना ऐकण्याकरिता 10,000 लोक गोळा व्हायचे. त्यावेळेस मोबाईल पेजर आणखी लँडलाईन नव्हते. ठीक आहे, त्यावेळेस पत्र लिहिले जायचे. त्या काळी 10,000 लोक गोळा होणं, तेही एका अनटचेबल कम्युनिटीमध्ये जिथे अवेअरनेस शून्य आहे. ओके, they were not literate, they don't have education facilities, they don't have rights to mobilize around the world, around the village. Okay, their villages or their home were outside the villages. Such backward community and around 10,000 supporters were present at this conference, okay, or assembly. In this same meeting, this is important, Baba Sahib made a historic declaration stating that even though I was born as a Hindu, okay, even though I was born as a Hindu, I will not die a Hindu. ओके, हे सर्वात महत्वाची अनाउन्समेंट होती जे बाबासाहेबांनी येवला परिषद मध्ये असेंब्ली मध्ये 1935 मध्ये केली होती. ठीक आहे, जरी मी हिंदू जन्मलो असणार तरी मी हिंदू मरणार नाही. ठीक आहे. आणखी नंतर आपल्याला माहिती आहे 1956 मध्ये 15 ऑक्टोबर 1956 ला नागपूर येथे बाबासाहेबांनी बुद्ध धर्म स्वीकारला. फाइन. Independent Labour Party founded on 15 August 1936. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar founded this party on 15th August 1936. He was the president and treasurer of this party. So who was the president of this party? Dr. Baba Sahib himself was the president of this party. Janta was the mouthpiece of this party. So Janta was the mouthpiece, okay, of this party. Okay, the party manifesto was first published in English Times of India. Okay, it was first published in Times of India English. Okay, according to the new political reforms, the party contested the election for the provincial legislature held on 17 February 1937. The symbol of the party was man. Okay, a figure of man. Okay, त्याला माणूस पण म्हणायचं बाबासाहेब. माणसाचा एक फिगर होता, तिथे एक फोटो होती, त्याला तो सिम्बॉल होता या पार्टीचा. ठीक आहे, हे महत्वाचं आहे तुमचा एमपीएससी एक्झाम करिता. फाइन. ही वॉज इलेक्टेड फ्रॉम द रिझर्व सीट ऑफ बायकला अँड परेल. सो बाबासाहेब वॉज इलेक्टेड फ्रॉम 2 सीट्स ऑफ बायकला अँड परेल. ओके. ऑल इंडिया शेड्यूल कास्ट फेडरेशन 1942. All India Scheduled Caste Federation was founded in Nagpur. So where was it founded? It was founded in Nagpur on 18th and 19th July 1942. And the delegates or the supporters or the peoples who were gathered on this for this conference was in Nagpur was from all over India. Okay, pan India. And Baba Sahib delivered an inaugural speech first in English and then in Marathi, so that each and every people present there can understand his thoughts and his vision. Okay, in this landmark Nagpur speech, Baba Sahib also called for the Indian Constitution to include provisions for establishing independent settlements for untouchables, and that settlements would be funded by central government. Okay, so this provision or this idea was put forth by Baba Sahib in this conference. Okay, the post of president of this federation was given to Professor Rao Bhadar and Shivraj of Chennai. Okay, so it was the overall committee or membership or the important personalities related to this federation was not concentrated from Maharashtra, it was from all over India. Okay, and the party secretary was P.N. Rajbhoj, sorry. The 21 article of this constitution of this federation was compiled by Dr. Baba Sahib himself. Okay, in the provincial legislative elections held on 11 March 1946, the scheduled caste federation candidates were defeated. Okay, they were defeated in the provincial legislative election. So Baba Sahib contested the election from the East Bengal state, and from there he went to Constituent Assembly on 11 July 1946. So all the members were of Scheduled Caste Federation were defeated in this provincial legislative elections. So Baba Sahib was contested elections from East Bengal constituency. Okay, Baba Sahib membership was cancelled. Okay, so as we discussed earlier that he has contested election from East Bengal, and in East Bengal there was a constituency named as Khulna constituency, and this Khulna constituency after the partition went to East Pakistan or today's Bangladesh. Okay, so the membership went to East Pakistan, the membership of Baba Sahib went to East Pakistan. Okay, so the membership of Baba Sahib was cancelled for the Indian Constituent Assembly. Okay, but later Gandhiji on Gandhiji's advice, Baba Sahib was reinstated, okay, from the Constituent Assembly of Mumbai, for which Mukundrao M. Jaikar had to resign. M. Jaikar resigned from Mumbai and Baba Sahib was elected from Mumbai on the advice of Gandhiji and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as well. Fine. Adoption of Buddhism in 1956. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar studied various religions, okay, and decided to embrace Buddhism. Okay. तर बाबासाहेब ज्यावेळेस कन्वर्ट होणार होते बुद्धिझम मध्ये किंवा त्यांना हिंदू धर्म सोडायचा होता, तर बरेच धर्माचे जे पुढारी होते है ना, लीडर्स होते, ते बाबासाहेबाला भेटायला आले. हैदराबादचा निजामानी म्हणतात त्यावेळेस 800 करोड ऑफर केले होते त्यांना, 800 की 8000 काहीतरी करोड, म्हणजे मोठं अमाऊंट होतं. ठीक आहे. बाहेरचे ख्रिश्चन मिशनरी जे लोक होते ते बाबासाहेबाला येऊन भेटायचे. एक खूप फेमस संवाद आहे. भारतात बाहेरचे ख्रिश्चन मिशनरीचे लोक आले, ख्रिश्चन लोक आले बाबासाहेबांकडे, आणखी त्यांनी विचारलं की त्यांना म्हटलं की तुम्ही ख्रिश्चन धर्म स्वीकारा, आम्ही तुमच्या लोकांना सर्व सुविधा देऊ, आम्ही बाहेरनं जे फंडिंग्स असतात ते पण देऊ तुम्हाला, आणखी आमच्या धर्मामध्ये कुठलीच प्रकारची इनइक्वॅलिटी नाही आहे. तर बाबासाहेबांचा आर्ग्युमेंट, कारण बाबासाहेबांना बरंच नॉलेज होतं धर्माविषयी, प्रत्येक गोष्टींविषयी. बाबासाहेबांचा जवळजवळ 50,000ची स्वतःची पर्सनल लायब्ररी आहे राजगृह मुंबईला. ठीक आहे. तर बाबासाहेब बोलले की जर तुमच्या ख्रिश्चन धर्मामध्ये इनइक्वॅलिटी नाही आहे, असमानता नाही आहे, तर मग रोमन कॅथलिक आणखी प्रोटेस्टंट असे दोन भाग का आहे. ठीक आहे. तर बाबासाहेबाला मुळात असं धर्म नको होता की ज्याच्यामध्ये मुळातच इनइक्वॅलिटी किंवा सेपरेशन और डिस्टिंक्शन आहे, डिव्हिजन्स ऑफ कम्युनिटीज आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. दुसरी गोष्ट अशी होती की बाबासाहेबाला जो धर्म स्वीकारायचा होता, बाबासाहेबाला मूल भारतामध्ये जन्मलेला, ज्यांनी जन्म घेतला भारतामध्ये, असा कुठला धर्म त्यांना स्वीकारायचा होता. ठीक आहे. तर इतर सगळ्या धर्माचा अभ्यास केल्यानंतर त्यांना असं लक्षात आलं की इज देअर एनी रिलिजन विच इज बेस्ड ऑन सायन्स अँड promotes equality among the members of the religion, it is Buddhism. Okay. So finally he embraced Buddhism on 14th October 1956. He and his wife embraced Buddhism. In addition to Chandramani Sanganayak, the monks who initiated him to Buddhism included Sada Kism Mathero and Sangh Mathero. Okay. Fine. So in this way डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब एम्ब्रेस्ड बुद्धिझम इन नागपूर. अँड इथेच नागपूरला जिथे बाबासाहेबांनी दीक्षा घेतली बुद्ध धर्माची, तिथे आज दीक्षाभूमी आहे. त्याला दीक्षाभूमीचे याकरिता म्हणतात कारण की बाबासाहेबांनी तिथे दीक्षा घेतली होती. तिथे आजही बाबासाहेबांनी लावलेलं पिंपळाचं झाड आहे, त्याला बोधी वृक्ष म्हणतात, जे श्रीलंकामधनं आणलेलं होतं. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे त्याची सॅपलिंग जे आहे मौर्यन काळात बौद्ध गया इथनं श्रीलंकाला गेली होती. जे यांचे संघमित्र आणखी महेंद्र होते, जे मुलगा आणखी मुलगी होते अशोक राजाचे, त्यांनी तिथे नेलेलं होतं. आणखी तिथलीच सॅपलिंग मग नागपूरला इथे लावण्यात आले आणि तिथे बोधी वृक्ष आता पण आहे. ठीक आहे. तुम्ही इथे बघू शकता बाबासाहेब बोलताना. ठीक आहे. दीक्षाभूमी नागपूरला. फाईन. लेबर मिनिस्टर. ओके. सो इन 1942 डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर बिकेम the executive council member of Viceroy. Okay, he became the member of executive council of Viceroy, and in that he became minister of labor. So in 1942 Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was taken into the Viceroy executive council on the recommendations of Sir George Lumey. The portfolio of Firoz Khan Noon was given to Babasaheb. He made many laws for the welfare of लेबर्स. ओके. सो ज्यावेळेस बाबासाहेब लेबर मिनिस्टर होते 1942 ला, तर बाबासाहेबांनी बरेच प्रोव्हिजन्स इम्प्लिमेंट केले लेबर करिता. त्यामध्ये बाबासाहेबांनी जे प्रोव्हिजन्स लेबर करिता नवीन इम्प्लिमेंट केले होते त्यामधले काही आहे की त्यांनी जे सुरुवातीला 14 आवर्स वर्क आवर्स असायचे, त्यांनी ती लिमिट 8 तासावर केली. फाईन. त्यांनी लिमिट ते 8 तासावर केली. महिलांकरिता त्यांनी मॅटर्निटी रिलीफ फंड, ओके, मेटर्निटी बेनिफिट राइट्स त्यांनी इंट्रोड्यूस केले. ही इंट्रोड्यूस maternity benefit rights, okay, so that the woman who is pregnant and is also working can get leave for or during her pregnancy, okay. Then he also reduced the working hours from 14 to 18 hours. He also introduced paid holidays, okay. He also introduced paid holidays for the laborers. He also introduced overtime allowances. If the worker is working more than 8 hours, okay, so he should be paid extra allowances for the extra hours, okay. And such many other. He also introduced provident fund, okay, for the mine employees, okay, coal mines, okay, coal fields, okay. So in this way he has introduced many sort of reforms for laborers, okay. Baba Sahib was also the minister of irrigation. He was also the minister of irrigation, power, public works and mining, okay. So when he was a minister of waters or irrigation, Baba Sahib have introduced many मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट, ओके. सो पूर्वेच्या काळामध्ये कसं असायचं की दोन प्रकारचे प्रोजेक्ट असायचे, डॅम्स, ओके, सिंगल पर्पज प्रोजेक्ट, आणखी एक असायचं मल्टी पर्पज प्रोजेक्ट. फाईन. सिंगल पर्पज प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये कसं असायचं, तो जो पर्पज असायचा त्या डॅमचा तो फक्त फ्लड कंट्रोलिंगचा असायचा. पण मल्टीपर्पज मध्ये काय असायचं, फ्लड कंट्रोल, ओके, फ्लड कंट्रोल, डॅमेज कंट्रोल, इरिगेशन, जनरेशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अँड असे बरेच प्रकारचे प्रोजेक्ट्स असायचे त्याच्यामध्ये. फाईन. तर बाबासाहेबांनी असे मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट्स इंट्रोड्यूस केले त्यावेळेस. त्याचं एक काही उदाहरण म्हणजे दामोदर व्हॅली प्रोजेक्ट आहे, हिराकुंड, दामोदर व्हॅली प्रोजेक्ट, हिराकुंड प्रोजेक्ट, भाकरा नांगल डॅम प्रोजेक्ट, असे बरेच प्रोजेक्ट बाबासाहेबांनी त्यावेळेस इम्प्लिमेंट केले होते. ठीक आहे. मायनिंग करिता मी सांगितलं तुम्हाला प्रोव्हिडिंग फंड वगैरे सगळे असे प्रकारचे त्यांनी प्रोव्हिजन्स आणलेले होते. फाईन. डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर न्यूजपेपर्स. ओके, सो दिस इज important for your exam. The first one is Mooknayak. It was established or formed on 31st January 1920. The weekly Mooknayak was started on 31st January 1920 and featured, okay, this is important point, please note it down. It featured abhangas of Sant Tukaram under the title Mooknayak. Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj provided Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar with 2500 rupees to launch this newspaper. Though you might think that the Maharaj has given only 2500, but at that moment, at that time, 2500 was a large sum of amount. Okay. Mooknayak was printed in K.R. Mitra's Manoranjan Press. Okay, this is important. Where it was printed in K.R. Mitra's Manoranjan Press. After Nagpur conference, Babasaheb went abroad and responsibility of the Mooknayak was entrusted to Gyandev Dhruvanant Golab. Okay, so it was entrusted to Golab. Fine. Bahishkrit Bharat. It was established on 3rd April 1927. Bahishkrit Bharat was a fortnightly, okay, this is important. It was fortnightly magazine started by Dr. Babasaheb on 3rd April 1927. Dr. Ambedkar himself was the editor. So who was the editor of Bahishkrit Bharat? Dr. Babasaheb himself was the editor of Bahishkrit Bharat. For the second issue onwards, from the second issue onwards, following poems of Sant Dhaneshwar Maharaj were printed in Bahishkrit Bharat. So the Sant Dhaneshwar Maharaj, okay, poems were printed in Bahishkrit Bharat. Okay, Bahishkrit Bharat was the mouthpiece of Dalit movement. Gopal Hari Deshmukh, okay, this is also important. Gopal Hari Deshmukh Shat Patra were republished by Dr. Babasaheb in Bahishkrit Bharat. Fine. Samta. Samta was started by Dr. Babasaheb on 29 June 1928. This newspaper was the mouthpiece of Samta Sangh or Samata Sainik Dal, and Devarao Vishnu Naik was appointed as editor. So who was editor? Devarao Vishnu Naik. Janta. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar started the fortnightly Janta in 1930. Devarao Naik, Kadrekar and B C Kamde were responsible for editing it. It was made a weekly and continued to publish till 1956. Fine. Janta served as a true reflection of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's life and ideals. So, commission might ask that which newspaper in reality reflects the ideas and life of Dr. Babasaheb. So, it was Janta, which was established in 1930. The publication carried a powerful slogan. Okay, so it had a important or powerful slogan which was make the slave aware of slavery and he will rise up in revolt. Okay, मराठी मध्ये आपण म्हणतो याला काय म्हणायचे बाबासाहेब, गुलामाला गुलामगिरीची जाणीव करून द्या तो रिवोल्ट करणार. फाइन. प्रबुद्ध भारत. Janta newspaper was later renamed as Prabuddha Bharat. The front page of this newspaper read the mouthpiece of All India Dalit Federation. After Babasaheb Mahaparinirvana, that is death, this fortnightly magazine was closed. Okay, so Janta was converted to Prabuddha Bharat. These are some books which were written by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, and it is most important from the point of view of your exam, and you should summarize, you should memorize, you should learn and remember it very well. Okay, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's book Ancient India Commerce, it was written in 1915. भारताचे राष्ट्रीय नफ्याचे वाटा 1916. Small holdings in India 1918. The evolution of provincial finances in British India 1924. PhD was granted for this thesis of Dr. Babasaheb. Caste in India, Annihilation of Caste of 1937. Annihilation of Caste चा इतिहास असा आहे की बाबासाहेबांना हरियाणामध्ये तिथले जे कम्युनिटी होती त्यांनी निमंत्रण दिले होते की तुम्ही या आणखी आमच्याकडे स्पीच द्या, पण त्यांची अट अशी होती की तुम्ही देणारा जो स्पीच असेल तो आमच्याकडे तुम्हाला सबमिट करावा लागेल, आम्ही बघू तो स्पीच म्हणजे कसं काय आहे, जेणेकरून तिथे लॉ अँड ऑर्डरची सिच्युएशन किंवा भांडणं निर्माण नको व्हायला. ठीक. तर बाबासाहेबांनी तो जो स्पीच होता, ते भाषण होतं, ते सबमिट त्यांच्याकडे पाठवलं, आणखी त्यांनी नंतर मग म्हटलं की आम्ही तुम्हाला बोलवू शकत नाही किंवा तुम्ही येणार असणार तर तुम्हाला हे भाषण आम्ही म्हणू देणार नाही. ठीक आहे. तर तेच भाषण बाबासाहेबांनी एका पुस्तका किंवा एक पॅम्पलेटचा फॉर्म मध्ये प्रिंट केल्यानंतर, आणि त्याच्यामध्ये अनहायलेशन ऑफ कास्ट हा त्याचा टॉपिक होता. ओके, हे किंवा त्याची हेडिंग किंवा त्याचं नाव होतं. ठीक आहे. याच्यामध्ये बाबासाहेबांनी सांगितलं आहे की कास्टला जर संपवायचं असेल तर काय 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 करावं लागेल तुम्हाला. ठीक आहे. थॉट्स ऑन पाकिस्तान विच वॉज पब्लिश्ड इन 1940. So before the partition was done, Baba Saheb also has written on the idea of separation or partition of India and on Pakistan. Fine. Ranade, Gandhi and Jinnah 1943. What Congress and Gandhi have done to the untouchables, it was written in 1945. Who were Shudras? शूद्र कोण होते, हे खूप फेमस पुस्तक आहे बाबासाहेबांची. ठीक आहे. and it is related to OBCs, okay, SCs and STs. Okay, so in this book they have the Baba Saheb have given in detailed description that which community belongs to Shudra. Okay, the Shudra category or Varna. Fine. The problem of rupee. This was a thesis which was submitted by Dr. Baba Saheb in the London School of Economics, and on this thesis he was granted Doctorate of Science, the degree of Doctorate of Science. Okay, and he was the first Indian who got that degree. Okay, and usually it takes around 5 to 10 years to formulate this kind of thesis, and to be granted this degree, that is DSc. But Baba Saheb in 2.5 years, have completed this degree, as well as he was granted doctorate of science, as well as he was granted MSc. Okay, so, and in this 2.5 years he was also enrolled in Grace in a law school there, and he started studying law, and in 2.5 years or 2 or 3 years he was granted doctorate of science, and as well as MSc degree, as well as barrister in law from the Gray's Inn or study school, okay, law school, fine. So this this was his brilliance, okay, he was so intelligent. So he submitted a thesis named as Problem of Money, its origin and its solution, which was based on the value of currency, the British currency, and overall the inflation rates and so on, which was related to economics, okay. And on this thesis, our today's Reserve Bank of India was formulated, okay, based on this thesis. In 1934, a act was passed, Central Banking Act, related to Reserve Bank of India, okay, and in 1935 RBI was established, okay. So विचार करा, असा व्यक्ती की ज्याच्या थिसिसवर सेंट्रल बँक तयार होते एका भारत सारख्या इतक्या मोठ्या राष्ट्राची, ठीक आहे, किती मोठी इकॉनॉमी आपली, तर असे हुशार होते बाबासाहेब. द अनटचेबल्स, थॉट्स ऑन लिंग्विस्टिक स्टेट्स, रायडल्स इन हिंदुइझम, ओके, याच्यामध्ये बाबासाहेबांनी सांगितलं की हिंदुइझम मध्ये काय काय प्रॉब्लेम्स आहे, काय काय म्हणजे दुरुस्ती करायची गरज आहे हिंदुइझम मध्ये. बुद्ध अँड हिज धम्म, ओके, ही जी पुस्तक बाबासाहेबांनी, शेवटली पुस्तक होती बाबासाहेबांची लिहिलेली, बुद्ध अँड हिज धम्मा, अँड इट वॉज पब्लिश्ड आफ्टर हिज डेथ. ही डायड ऑन 6th December 1956, okay, and it was published in 1957, okay, and it was the last book he was written, okay, and this was the only book. बाबासाहेबांना विचारण्यात आलं होतं, रिपोर्टरनी विचारलेलं होतं की तुम्ही बुद्ध धर्मासाठी काय केलं, तर बाबासाहेबांनी म्हटलं होतं की मी बुद्ध धर्माला ते दिलंय की जे आजपर्यंत कोणी देऊ शकलं नाही, आणि की ते आहे की एक पुस्तक दिली आहे, मी ग्रंथ दिलाय की जेणेकरून जर कोणाला जर बुद्धिझम शिकायचं आहे तर हे जर पुस्तक तो वाचेल तर त्याला बुद्धिझम लक्षात येणार, ओके. बाबासाहेबांनी एक नवीन सेक्ट बुद्धिझमचा स्थापन सुद्धा केला होता, त्याला नवयाना म्हणतात, ओके, नवयान, इन इंग्लिश मध्ये याना, नवयान म्हणून त्यांनी एक नवीन सेक्ट ऑफ बुद्धिझम पण सुरू केला होता, ठीक आहे. आपल्याकडे काय काय आहे, महायाना आहे, हिनयाना आहे, वज्रयाना आहे, ठीक आहे. तसंच बाबासाहेबांनी नवयाना म्हणून पण एक बुद्धिझमचा एक सेक्ट स्थापित केलेला होता, फाइन. वर्ड ऑफ प्रेजेस, ओके, तो बाबा साहब की तारीफ किसने किसने की है, वैसे तो पूरी दुनिया करता है, लेकिन ठीक है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे एग्जाम के लिए. Shahu Maharaj, he is an ornament among the scholars. Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad, liberator of Dalits. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, a person who rebelled against all tendency of oppressions in Hindu society. Acharya Atre, the radiant yogi of knowledge of Maharashtra. Rajendra Prasad, a leader who fought righteously against injustice. Dhananjay Keer, on economics, sociology, history, political science. He was also the principal of law college. This popular leader led a political, social and labor movements, okay, and in his final years he also म्हणजे त्यांनी आपलं स्वतःचे मिनिस्ट्रीचा राजीनामा सुद्धा दिला होता एका बिल करिता, आणि ते बिल होतं हिंदू कोड बिल, ओके. आज भारतामध्ये जितके स्त्रिया आहे आणि त्या स्त्रियांना जितके काही अधिकार आहे हे बाबासाहेबांनी त्यांच्याकरिता लिहिलेले आहे त्या हिंदू कोड बिल मध्ये. बाबासाहेबांनी जवळजवळ 2 ते 3 वर्ष वाट बघितली काँग्रेस गव्हर्नमेंटची, पण त्यांनी ते म्हणजे विरोधच इतका होता महिलांच्या अधिकारांकरता की त्यांनी ते बिल पास नाही केलं. शेवटी बाबासाहेबांनी राजीनामा दिला. आणखी नंतर पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरूंनी ते सेक्शन बाय सेक्शन ते लॉज पास करून घेतले ओके, तर हे सगळे लॉज पण बाबासाहेबांनी फॉर्म्युलेट केलेले होते, ज्यामध्ये वुमेन्सला राईट टू डिवोर्स, राईट टू रिमॅरेज, राईट टू हॅव प्रॉपर्टी. ओके, आपण प्रॉपर्टीमध्ये आपला हिस्सा बघतो ना, वडिलांचा प्रॉपर्टी, ते सुद्धा त्याच्यामध्ये दिलेलं आहे. असे बरेच मेटर्निटी रिलीफ बेनिफिट्स अँड सो ऑन सो, हिंदू मॅरेज ऍक्ट आहे, असे बरेच ऍक्ट आहे ज्याच्यामध्ये बाबासाहेबांच्या हिंदू कोड बिल मध्ये ते सगळं लिहिलेलं होतं. फाईन. तर बाबासाहेबांनी फक्त कुठला कास्ट करिता काम नाही केलं आहे. बाबासाहेबांनी जितके शोषित वर्ग आहे तो, आणखी हे जर ज्यावेळेस मी तुम्हाला सांगतोय की वुमेन, that women does not only include untouchables or backward classes, from higher caste, from Brahmin to till the end of the Varna system, प्रत्येक बायांसाठी लेडीज किंवा फिमेल साठी त्यांनी राईट्स मिळवून दिलेले आहे. ठीक आहे. सो ही फॉट फॉर द इक्वॅलिटी फॉर ईच अँड एव्हरी सेक्शन. वेअर देअर इज ऑपरेशन यू विल फाइंड बाबासाहेब वर्क. ओके, सो ही वॉज अ ग्रेट लीडर. ही वॉज अ पर्सनॅलिटी who fought for equality till his last breath. He fought for human rights. He fought for women's. He fought for untouchables, backward classes, laborers. Okay, each and every oppressed section of society in India. Okay, so in this way we have covered the great personality, the great social reformer, that is Dr. Baba Saheb. And if you have any sort of doubts, okay, related to this session, you can comment down. Okay, so we can have a discussion on it. Okay, I'll wait for a few minutes. Kindly comment. Till then, this is these are our contact mediums. Okay, if you want to contact through web or mail, you can mail us. If you want to contact through Instagram, this is our Instagram ID, this is our Telegram ID, okay, this is our YouTube channel, and this is our contact number, okay, of SuPrabha Academy. Fine. So in this way I hope that मी खूपच चांगलं शिकवलंय वाटतं तुम्हाला, तुम्हाला काही डाऊट्सच नाही आहे. फाईन. ठीक आहे, तर आज आपण थांबू इथे मग. फाईन. थँक्यू. दॅट्स इट फॉर टुडे. We will continue. Tomorrow will be the lectures of my colleague. Okay, kindly attend those as well. Thank you for today. That's it.